Are you ready to move your career forward? Make your comeback with Purdue Global and get college credit for your work, school life, or military experiences. With these credits, you may have already completed up to 75% of your undergraduate degree. You've worked hard to get where you are. It's time to get the recognition you deserve and earn a degree you'll be proud of, one that employers will trust and respect. When you take the next step in your life and career, make it count with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
Conair is spreading love and celebrating women, not just on International Women's Day, but every day with Conair Girl Bomb. Girl Bomb is their new line of powerful hair removal tools made just for us. Yeah. Whether it's the silky smooth skin or the empowering confidence boost you get, Conair Girl Bomb is here to amp up those positive vibes with some self-care. So to all the beautiful women out there, keep shining, keep being you, and treat yourself to some Conair Girl Bomb magic. You deserve it. Available at Walgreens.
You deserve a moment to yourself every single day. And a delicious bite of a Keebler Sandies can give you that comforting pause. Bring along the melt-in-your-mouth magic of a Keebler Sandies to add a sprinkle of joy to your workday. This magic is baked into simple shortbread cookies by Ernie and the Keebler Elves. So as life continues to fly by, make the most of your me moment. Take a pause and enjoy a Keebler Sandies.
Hi everyone, it's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to Soul Sessions. Today we have a listener reading. You're going to find this really beneficial. Natalia is super open and deals with a lot of things that are relatable to each one of us. She's a mom and is struggling with all the things that come with parenthood. And one thing I want to say about that is we have remarkable children being born that are super gifted. They learn differently than some of us. Each generation, of course, is different. But the children being born today, young people, teenagers, they have gifts and abilities that sometimes we can't always relate to or may not be activated within us. And Natalia, like many of you parents out there, recognize new ways of parenting and leading and nurturing children that are very intuitive and unique. And she is a great example of ways in which you can navigate those challenging phases. So this, I think, will be super helpful. She also lost her sister very traumatically to a drunk driver, and her sister shows up in this reading in remarkable and brilliant ways with messages that you will resonate with and ways in which you can connect deeper with loved ones you have lost on the other side. I think it will offer quite a bit of healing. We talk about karma, we talk about past lives, and it's just an incredible journey. And last but not least, I want to say, and this is cool because some of you out there will resonate with this, and this is not my primary gift. I've had to develop it a little bit deeper. We all have that, where we have some gifts that are more developed than others. Our clairvoyance might be our go-to, or our claircognizance, these downloads of information, clairaudience, hearing. Natalia sees her intuition in color, like she can see colors, and colors tell her stories, give her insights and intuitive hits. So we dive into that, and I think it will be very helpful for some of you and resonate with those of you who have a gift that comes through that way. So without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, Natalia. One of the first things they're showing me about you is that you are highly responsible. It was like you were born that way. There is this element of, I'm going to get up, I'm going to suit up, I'm going to show up, I'm going to get things taken care of, and I'm going to do it by myself. I mean, you just like me, you don't ask for help that often, and that comes through a lot, and a lot with empowered women, and you're very empowered, and you're courageous and bold, and you take the lead, but sometimes it's really exhausting, and that is probably one of the greatest storylines in your lifetime, that it's like, okay, where do I suit up, show up? Where does my responsibility to others others begin and end? And how can I take time for me? Who do I let love on me? Who do I let nurture me? Who can really hold me up rather than me feeling like I am the one supporting people? I am the one showing up. And you are such a nurturer. Like when you care and love somebody, whether it is your family and family is important to you, or really dear friends, like you show up, you hold space, but sometimes to your detriment because you're extremely emotionally sensitive. And I don't mean that by any weakness. It's just that you feel things deeply. You're intuitive. I mean, and you also are a wonderful teacher. You really are. And so much of your journey and your life path in this lifetime is around sharing not only your knowledge and your experience and your light and your energy, because when you're on and it influences others, but it's also about your wisdom, which means being able to share your wounds and your pain. And this is what I learned from this. You know, I went through this and it was horrible. It was horrific, but here's what it showed me. Here's how, you know, it's like the only way through is through. And it's like you've been through a lot in this lifetime. And I resonate with that. And I'm like, oh, but at the same time, it's like, I know when I'm going through painful stuff, I may not like it. I may not always handle it well. I may be a hot mess, even though I button up and tighten up. And I'm saying that because you do too. Like, it's like we just soldier through, but it's like, you know that you've learned so much from that, and being able to share your experience with other people and even your messiness is where your greatest value is. Is this resonating?
Totally. Yes.
You're wise. You're not a young soul. I know you know this, and it's like frustrating to be an old soul sometimes because, and this is what I find so often, and this is so key for you this year, and especially over the course of the next 6+ months, is knowing that old souls, I mean, there are a lot of souls who've been through massive pain, massive trauma. You've had pain and trauma. That's very clear to me. I mean, all of us have on varying degrees, but you've been through the ringer a few times. But when I'm talking about like really like in your face trauma, like sex trafficking, like crimes against humanity, like that's not this lifetime, right? Like that's not this lifetime. The pain and trauma isn't, but other lifetimes it has been. So there is this element in your soul where the pain and trauma is very personal. It's like personal loss, personal disappointment in people that are supposed to love and protect you. You know, it's like it's personal, and you're a very personal person. I'm freaking sensitive like that. I take things personally. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I know you do too, but yet we button up and we're like, everything's good, we're good. And then on the inside, I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, or why are they behaving this way? And so much of that reaction, because I can feel it in you, and I see it, and I'm laughing because I'm like, ugh, this is like our thing, is that you very in your intuitive knowing, you can see the highest light in someone else. Like you get disappointed or disillusioned in people that you love and care about when you know they can do better, they can be better. It's so what is your biggest opportunity is giving grace to human frailty. You know, people are messy. I'm messy. You're messy. You know, we are just human. We mess up. We screw up. It's how we are resilient and respond. But it's like usually when someone disappoints you or frustrates you or hurts you, it's because in your unconscious, it's like, gosh, I know they're capable of better. Gosh, they didn't really, really mean that. But it's hard to not separate the ego personal stuff. Does that resonate? It's very deep.
It does resonate. And I'm actually working on that with my son right now.
Oh my gosh, you're such a good mom too. Geez, you're a good, and you're like, you're not only structured because you're totally a control freak. It's not lost on me. You're very particular. And it's really more that you were like particular. Like it's the aesthetic of things. It's like this needs to go here, and this is the way we wash the dishes, or this is the way we put things in the laundry. You know, like I can see like your processes. It's like if no, this is the easiest way to do the laundry because this will happen. You know, like those kinds of details. The process of, well, when you put the dishes in this way, we can fit more in the dishwasher. Like I just see how your mind works, and it's making me laugh because it reminds me of my mother. You know, it was like, no, Amanda, load the dishwasher this way. And so anyway, but as it relates to your son, and you can tell me his name in a minute, but you're a great mom, and you provide order and structure, but you're also fun. Like when you're fun, you're spontaneous. And let me tell you what they're showing me, and this is super sweet. My mom and I, we would go to the movie like on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever it was, and she'd be like, do you want to see another movie? Like, let's go to a double feature. And that's the way that my mom, because my mom was also extremely particular and everything needed to be done a certain way. But when my mom was spontaneous in that way of like, oh yeah, let's go get an icy after school, those things, it was like, yes, like, and you're that kind of mom. It's like you're tight and structured. So you have this beautiful element of nurture and care and structure and finding that balance. And with your son, what's his name?
Jonah.
Jonah. What's his birthday? Just the month and the date.
His is 8/21.
Oh, so he's like kind of right on the cusp of like that Leo Virgo energy. Oh, he's so kind. Like he has a sensitive, kind heart. Oh my gosh. And you seeing his light, seeing who he is on a soul level, what he's capable of, that's where you're so frustrated right now. And that's why that's coming up. And guess what? He's your child. You've known him through lifetimes. And he's your person. He's not only your child. Like since the moment he was born, it was kind of like, I didn't know I could love or know a being or a soul this much. And yeah. I don't have children. I haven't been able to have children. But most mothers feel that connection, not all of them, but yours is deeper. Like it's deep. And I know you know that. Like it's this deep like resonance. And you know you were given like a contract or a responsibility on the other side to guide him and mentor him, which also means, and this is the human messy, human frailty part of it, is he has to stumble and like, you know, scrape his knees. And he's smart. Gosh, he's smart and like sometimes not applying himself. It's like he's just like spazzing out a little bit. And you haven't had him spaz out. Like all of a sudden, he's just spazzing out. And you're like, what is going on? I feel out of control. What has happened? Like when did the light switch flip?
Yeah, that's the spaz out started just last summer. And I haven't been able to know how to guide him as well.
How old is he?
He's 12.
12. Okay. I was about to say, because I was like, yeah, he's like right in that in between. And I'm just saying this personally, not like it's coming through, but I think about, you know, that age where, and especially with boys and their moms, where there's that nurture and love and connection. And then all of a sudden they're like, I got this. I don't need it. No, like, and they don't communicate the same. So some of it is just the natural progression of things, which I know how smart you are. So intellectually, you know, from a reason perspective, you know that, but intuitively you're like, I can't freaking figure this out. How do I respond differently? How do I hold space? And then how do I keep him safe? And that goes back to the responsibility thing that we talked about with you is, yes, you're his mom and you are meant to protect him and nurture him and keep him safe, but also letting him kind of be in his tantrums. And the funny thing about this is a tantrum kind of year for you. And I know this is so funny and it's making me laugh because this is what they're showing me. About a year and a half ago, as an adult, I was standing in the kitchen with my mother and it was like everything was coming down on me. And I was like, I just can't, like, I just don't want to. And she was not laughing at me, but she was holding space for me because she said, gosh, I don't even think you did that as a 5-year-old. You know, here I am in my 40s and I was having like a 5-year-old temper tantrum saying, I just can't. Like, I'm not I can't gal. Neither are you. You know, like even if we can't, we do. You're very survival oriented and you're like, this stuff is tough. And what I was going to say about you being an old soul, because they said, hey, you didn't tell her this, is a lot of times it's nuanced lessons. You know, it's like these nuances. It's like tweaking your perspective just a little bit. And when you have that eureka moment, oh, when I relinquish control of this, oh, when I give him to God. And I mean, and you have to give Jonah to God every freaking day. I know you've been doing that. It's been like, God, take him. God, help me. God, show me. And also you're talking to people on the other side. You talk to your people on the other side. Do you do that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm like, you have multiple people on the other side. Actually, a lot of women. Like, you have women on the other side. And there's one woman, oh, hold on, a female coming through, and it's not your grandmother. I usually know that energy. She's younger than that.
Who doesn't love the good things in life? Even though I enjoy a little luxury, it doesn't mean I can always afford it. Until I discovered Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices.
Quince offers a range of high-quality items at prices within reach, like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and 14-karat gold jewelry.
And Quince only works with factories that use safe and responsible manufacturing practices. How great is that?
I love my silk slip dress from Quince. It is comfy, chic, and amazing quality.
I can't recommend their super soft fleece joggers enough. They feel like butter.
Give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/Teddy for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Teddy to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Teddy.
Hey guys, it's Steve Covino from Covino and Rich, here to tell you the national sales event is on at your Toyota dealer, making now the perfect time to get a great deal on a dependable new Toyota truck, like a rugged half-ton Tundra. Workhorse by nature, powerhouse by design, the Tundra combines raw capability with premium comfort and advanced tech to fuel your wildest adventures. And with the available iForce Max hybrid powertrain, you can take electrifying horsepower farther than ever before. Or check out the fully redesigned Tacoma, delivering trail-dominating power and captivating style. The new Tacoma was born to make your off-roading dreams come true. And with the new available tech, this legendary truck is getting even better. When you buy a Toyota truck, you buy Toyota dependability, meaning your truck will hold its value long into the future. So visit your local Toyota dealer. Check out the amazing national sales event deals when you visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The following ad is sponsored by Pets Best Insurance Services.
Pets come into our lives in many ways. Shelters, breeders, or unexpected encounters. But no matter how you found your pet, they become our perfect match. Unfortunately, finding the right pet insurance plan can be hard. That's where Pets Best comes in. With a little information about you and your pet, Pets Best will recommend a plan that meets your needs and budget. Visit PetsBest.com to learn more today. Your perfect pet deserves the perfect coverage. PetsBest.com.
There's one woman, hold on, a female coming through, and it's not your grandmother. I usually know that energy. She's younger than that. She kind of looks like you. So hold on just a second. I mean, y'all look alike. And she's like very expressive, like with her mannerisms. She's, you know, I talk with my hands a lot. She's like expressive and talking with her hands and very animated and full of life and fearless. There's a fearlessness to her. Do you know, who is this?
Sister.
Oh, no wonder I was talking about my sister. I was like, you remind me of my sister. You know, like that was when I was doing my makeup this morning, I was like, oh, I'm excited to talk to her. She reminds me of my sister. You know, like one of my sisters. What is her name?
Her name is Renata.
Oh my gosh, y'all both have such beautiful names, Natalia and Renata. She says, I love you so much. And you know how we were talking about your son, Jonah, as your person? Your sister was your person. Your sister, and not that you didn't have a good mom and parents, because you did. You know, you had your family, you had your dynamics, you had to adult at a young age. There was a lot of stuff going on, but your sister was like the person that always knew the backstory, knew the history, and you are very nostalgic. You know, your friends from high school or your people that you're close to who know you through your highs and lows in every moment, and you have memories, but losing your sister was like losing, and I mean, this can be for a lot of people, but the way that she's showing it to me, like, it was like you lost a soulmate almost, you know? And I mean, you had your ups and downs, your sisters, you know, it came with all the stuff. She says, I know it feels like I left too soon. And she said, gosh, it made you mad. Like you were angry because you can sustain, like you will hold resentment in like me, like we will hold it in and hold it until we blow. And like the stuff with her was like, this isn't okay. Like it was fast and acute. I mean, although, gosh, she says, she wants you to know she was pulled out of her body, but her body had a hard time letting go with whatever happened. It was an accident, but not okay. What happened to her? I mean, and I feel like I keep getting like blown away. Like I'm kind of like stunned, blown away. Does that make sense?
She was hit by a drunk driver when she was riding her bike.
Riding her bike and by a drunk driver. Okay, no wonder you're angry. You know, we lose somebody and it's angry, or we lose somebody suddenly, but all of that makes sense to me. Oh my gosh. She says like, and she kind of like, I can tell now because it's like she was thrown off, but she wants you to know, she says, I snapped out of my body really fast, but like, did she not die immediately on the scene? No, because she's saying my body struggled. And did you all have to take her off of life support?
No, we cared for her for 3 years. My family, my parents and I.
Oh, Okay, this makes so much sense because she said it's like her soul separated from her body during the accident. And I know you've seen things like this, but this is really true to life sometimes, is it's like they hover and they have conversations on the other side. And am I supposed to go back into my body? She's like, I went through all of that. And she knows you believe in those things. So she's like telling you, she's like, I was on the other side. And she was with your grandmother and grandfather. I don't know, like they were over there. And she was like, I want to stay with you. It feels so good over here. I don't want to go back. And we're saying you're going to go back in and it's not going to be easy, but it's not as much about you as it's about the other people around you. And remember how we were talking about you walking through pain and being like, the only way through is through and all the stuff. She's like, it's all interconnected. She says, Natalia, it's all interconnected. And she's like, I didn't want to come back. And she says, I am sorry, even though like it's been some time. She says that was so hard on everybody. But she says, on the other side, I was supposed to come back in and not have full capacity. And so she's like, I left. I had a whole out-of-body experience, near-death experience. I experienced all that crazy stuff on the other side. And then I came back in, but she says I wasn't supposed to be here. I mean, 3 years is a long time. Bless you and your family. Oh my gosh, you have to tell me a little bit about this. My heart just hurts.
She was an artist. And
oh, no wonder the expression and expressiveness.
She was in school and preparing to go to grad school. And she was just a very vibrant personality.
Yeah.
She was on the list of 5, and we're all different.
Yeah.
But she was the brightest color in her color box.
Yeah. Do you want to know something crazy? Like, I was, wait a minute. This is so amazing because I had forgotten about it until you just said that. When I was standing in my bathroom doing my makeup, I was like, oh my gosh, Natalia sees in color. Your intuition comes through color. It's one of the ways. It comes through multiple ways. And now it makes sense. That's your sister saying you're supposed to see in color. I lived in color. She did. She was bright. She lived in color. She was an artist. Of course, that all literally translates. But she says, I want you to start tapping into auras and energy fields. And let me give you a really simple way. She's telling me, she's like, give her some direction. Give her some practical tips. I was like, okay. And she's like, I would tell her to do this in my own way. Play with this, but like when you see somebody, be like, what color are they? Just and then immediately what comes to you. I don't care if it's black, okay, and then maybe don't go over there. But just kidding. Like, I don't care if it's black or beautiful, vibrant gold. Like whatever color first comes to you, just practice. And it's not like you have to ask them or validate that. You just practice, because that would be kind of weird, right? When my gifts started flooding through, I mean, I've had this since I was young, but I would be in the grocery store and dead people would show up and I would be in the line and I'd be like, I'm sorry, like I have mediumship abilities and this person is driving me. Do you know who this is? I mean, I started saying stuff to people and it was, part of my story and it was wild and I was so afraid and I thought they were going to think I was crazy. And then it would always be healing or validating. And then I would make connections with people, perfect strangers. But I want you to start playing with that, not having to engage, just play with it. She says, play with it. And then this is going to help you with Jonah. She says, I adore him. And she says, listen to me, all that responsibility and with him just struggling right now, she says, I got your back. Like he's got to go through some of this because he's also very intuitive. So with him, like when he's having a meltdown or when he is misbehaving, like he's not been a misbehavior until now. And all of a sudden he's misbehaving. So you're like, what is happening? See if you can, like when he's like, you can feel him and he's red or he's orange or he's, his energy field, like if it looks brown and murky, color therapy. You are so creative and so smart. It's like finding different modalities of therapy or healing for him, but he will resonate with tapping into his frequencies and color therapy, color frequency. And your sister just says he needs to do art. He's got to start doing art. He's got to start getting all those emotions out on paper. And they keep saying like art therapy will be good for him too. And she's like, see, he is my nephew. Like he's totally my nephew. And she said, you know how I was going to do things my own way? She's like very much a rebel rouser, your sister.
Oh, yeah.
And what's funny is this is a year of you being a rebel rouser, and you're so responsible. And, you're like, I got this. I got everything figured out. And even when you and you work through your stuff, you are bravely confronting and doing all the things. Like you're right on time. But she says, this is a year for you to unleash your inner rebel, your spontaneity, your creativity, and looking for creative solutions to help him process, because there's not a roadmap for it. You're having to create it. And that's what's stressful right now is like, I'm doing all the things. I'm reaching out and getting help. I'm supporting him the way that's worked in the past, but this is not working now. And she says, it's okay. You got to be an artist. You got to channel me. You've got to be an artist. And she has very great style about her, like her clothes and like her jewelry and her makeup. Like, it's funny that I keep talking about her coming to me while I was doing my makeup. Like, I put on like pink lipstick this morning and it was kind of frosty. And I was like, dude, I look like I'm a kid from the 80s. And I mean, I'm born in 80, but she like did funky, fun things. And like, it was fun for you because you are more traditional and put together in certain ways. You like a traditional aesthetic a lot of times. And she's like, I need you to like do some redecorating in your house. She's like, I need you to do some redecorating. So it's like she wants you to, put some bold pops of color. She says, I need you to get bold pops of color in the house. And she says, this will be good for Jonah. Like by proxy, to go with Jonah and be like, Jonah, we got to get some new throw pillows for the couch, and even if you don't like them, okay, even if you don't like them, like go to Home Goods or go wherever you go. And like, we have some badass decor stores in Austin, like fun, funky places. Let him pick out some aesthetics and let him redecorate his room. Your sister just said that. She says like things that give him creative, artistic license will help him feel like he's in control better. Like, and also it's like an unconscious way of expressing himself and getting some of this stuff out. So even if, and this is what they're telling me, this is really funny. When I was little, my mom, I started making my bed at like 3 or 4 years old. Like 4 years old, no joke. She had me making my bed. And my grandmother said to my mom, she said, now, Lisa, she says, if you're going to have that baby make her bed, you are not allowed to go behind her and remake it up. If you want her to make her bed, because my mom would be the person that I would make the bed and it would be a hot mess. And then she would go back and do hospital corners or whatever she does, like she was a nurse and like everything was like perfect. And my grandmother, who was, like a soulmate to me, and was an amazing grandmother, said, no, Lisa, like you don't go behind that baby and redo the bed. Just be happy that she got up and made the bed because you're asking her to and she's doing it and she wants to please you. And that's the other thing that is like, I resonate with him is he's a pleaser like me.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's that kindness. And guess what? I know with kindness, and I know this from my personal experience, you are very nurturing and compassionate. Like those are your two big, like that's where your heart is. Nurture, compassion, and generosity. Like generous of heart, generous of your time, generous of your knowledge, your talent, your resources. You give so much more than sometimes it feels like you're able to receive. It's like when you get a compliment, it's sometimes like, oh, this, I've had it forever, or, oh, okay. Instead of being like, thanks, I love it too. Just like me being like, I love your puffer jacket. Like next time somebody says that to you today, you'd be like, me too. Like, thanks, me too. Like receive it. Like that'll help. But it's hard sometimes to receive. But with him, that kindness, that deep well of kindness and sensitivity, what runs parallel to that is rage and anger. And that's what's coming out in him. And he's not a mean, raging, unkind, spiteful person. He just has those emotions to be able to counterbalance with that sensitive kindness, because he hates it when other people are bullied or treated unfairly or unkind. Like when other kids are rude or mean or disrespectful, that stuff affects him. And a lot of that, like with school and other kids, he's picking up on their energy. And like some of them, he has really good manners. He has great manners. But right now, it's like he's picking up on stuff from other kids that are not his, and it's annoying him. But it's like he's taking on some of their personas. Like some of the stuff he's processing that is like not his normal MO it's not even his. It's like he can't delineate between his energy and the energy of others that he's picking up right now, which is just a developmental stage energetically, intuitively. Does that resonate?
It does. He's told me that it, like, being around people, it becomes like too much for him. Like when he's around the chaos of all the boys he's played baseball with, sometimes gets to be too much and he just needs to have some time to himself.
How wise. Right? And you can respect and hold space for that. He's intuiting that, and he is so strong. Like, he's strong and bold like you are, that for him to be in this space of, I just need my time, I just need my space, and at 12 years old, being able to articulate that, it's like he needs it to be able to cleanse and clear his energy and channel, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? What do I need? So that solitude or that solitary time. And I tell you what, next year is better. This year is still rocky, okay? It's like he has breakthrough energy, and it's not going to be like January 1st of 2025, but it definitely into the first 3 months, as the energy starts to shift and assimilate, he's going to come more into himself again, and this evolved, revitalized version. But this year is going to be not only like a roller coaster, it's going to be like Etch-a-Sketch. An Etch-a-Sketch. I'm like, you and I both know what an Etch-a-Sketch is. That's what it's going to feel like. So for you, it's being able to say, okay, well, what do you need to do today? Okay, what do you want to go do today? How can you go spend time? But I think art therapy, your sister is saying that, and she also says, let's come back to me for a minute. She wants to talk about herself. She said, thank you. She says, it was really expensive and really stressful taking care of me. She just made sense of the money piece of it, and she's saying it was okay, we had the resources, but it was expensive. And she's not just talking about the money, she's like, emotionally it was expensive. I mean, that makes sense, but I don't think I've ever had anybody communicate it that way. Emotionally it was expensive. I mean, there's still grief in it, and this has been a while ago. Yes,
12 years.
12 years. Oh, and your son is 12.
I was pregnant with him when she passed.
Okay, no wonder she's like, I've got him. And you were pregnant with him. She left to go on the other side because it was like he needed to come in. There's just weird stuff like that that's true, that's real, that you just know. You don't understand it or know why or how, but it's like, but know it. And I know you know that. They're just saying, know it. She says it's all divinely timed. And she says, I was there to give him information, connect with him on a soul level before he came in. So she says, you need to know we're like this. And the inner artist in him, the inner creative, is what is trying to come out. And right now it's like he needs, like he said, I need my time, my space from all this chaos and drama, because he's sensitive. And he's like, I can't take all the dysfunction. I can't take all the drama. And also he has the same gift as you, where he sees that these kids could be better or be smarter or behave better. He sees their soul. Like, he can intuit in and feel and see what they're capable of, so that human frailty is just disillusioning him. And he's 12. How do we communicate that at 12? But for him to have the wherewithal to say, I need my space, Mom, brilliant. And that's where this year y'all find space. And guess what? Plan trips this year. And you also, it's like when things, they're not going to just perfectly settle, but also you need to get away. You need to go on a girls' trip, and not be worried and afraid, because you need to go laugh, be silly, and be playful, and just like dance and laugh and have a good time, because you need that to revitalize you. And I don't care if you and a few girls go rent an Airbnb Friday through Sunday. It doesn't have to be a trip to the Bahamas. It can be just little stuff where you're in proximity, if that feels safe. But you getting away, or you going to a workshop in the afternoon, or signing up for something where you are gone and you get to go do something healing for you for a few hours. And that can be freaking getting a manicure and a pedicure, and not picking up your phone and reading a People magazine. Like, literally read the People magazine, look at all the trash that is going on in the world, and enjoy that it is not your trash, or be whatever it is, just be lost in that and get your pedicure, or go get a facial, like things that are self-care related for you. Go nurture yourself. Go be loved on where it feels like you're getting physical touch. like literal physical touch. So a manicure, pedicure, facial, massage, acupuncture, chiropractor, whatever works for you, prioritize those things this year. That will really help. Your sister says, thank you. She says, I know it was a struggle. Did you put her in was she at home or in a facility?
She was initially in a facility, but they weren't doing a very good job. So she went to the hospital and then we brought her home.
She said it was just really stressful. She said it was so stressful. And she said, there are so many times I just wanted to be like, I'm out. And she said our grandparents would come in and be like, not yet, you got this. And it's really strange because it's so backwards for me to say this. But she was like, it was about you all learning lessons of loving each other, because it's like family and family dynamics of care and agreeing and disagreeing. And when do we do this? And how do we do this? And making that, she's like, it was all about like something bigger, our family. You have a lot of like genetic bloodline lineage and karma. Your whole family does. Like that y'all came in to learn from each other and through dynamics and not always agreeing and disagreeing and learning to love and forgive and accept and hold space. Like that's a big part of your story.
She and I, because we were so different, I feel like we had just kind of come to a place where we understood each other a little better. And I feel like she needed to see me and I needed to care for her in a way. And that was part of the lesson. Yeah. The long goodbye that we have.
The long goodbye. That could be a freaking book, right? You should write a book about that. And I tell you what, it's like a living amends, right? My mom passed away this last year and we took care of her. I took care of her. And I tell you what, it was hard and beautiful and painful and sweet, but especially the last couple of months, it was so divine. Like I learned to nurture and care and see this like divine love, like for all the things, the highs, and I was very close to my mom, but all the ups and downs and highs and lows, like really acceptance and forgiveness and like divine love. And that's what you experience. The long goodbye for you is divine love. Knowing, gosh, it's like heaven on earth, even in the pain. I know, it's like that juxtaposition of tragedy and beauty, and there's like some sweet spot, some quantum field right there that is like, it's like breakthrough energy. And she says, she's like, we have that. It's special. And she says she wants you to know, because I know you know this in your heart, we're soul sisters. Like we're not only sisters, we've been through a lot in a lot of lifetimes. And this lifetime, this tragedy and this long goodbye was almost a healing of karma for both of us, where we have wronged each other in other lifetimes, misunderstood, been adversaries. You've been adversaries in other lifetimes. And your souls trust each other enough to be like, all right, we're going to level the freaking playing field. And she's like, we did it. She's like, we did it. You did it. You did it. You knew it. She is giving you so much praise for all this tragedy and trauma. Like she's really doting on you and saying, yeah, you did it, and it doesn't bring me back here in this lifetime. She's like, you'll see me again. Don't worry about it. She's pretty funny. And she's just kind of spastic. She's like all over the place. And I love it. Like she's just a total creative. But she says, give Jonah the space to be a little spastic, to be like out of his element and not be afraid of it, like embrace it, and say, what am I learning from this? Like, what is this bringing up within me? Terror, fear, feeling out of control, worry. And worry is such a cancer causer because it's like a low vibration. And you're a mom. Moms worry. Like, that's like a natural thing. Duh. But it's like that unconscious worry that it's just there. And right now you've got it. You know it because you're just in the back of your mind, even in your day-to-day and work and life and your responsibilities, it's like fear and worry. So when you notice it, be like, okay, I'm going to give this to you, God. I'm going to give this to you, just give it up and say, wait a minute, because I need to be well. And you're very physically sensitive. Like when you get a lot of stress and pressure and all the things, like your body, your hormones, your body just starts to physically react.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now I'm kind of mess. I'm a hot mess.
I know. And guess what? I love your hot mess because I can be and have been a hot mess. And like this last year for me, I was a hot mess. And I tell you what I learned from it, which you and I are very similar this way. I learned to be loved on and to ask people for help. And I learned to be the messiest I could be in front of the people I loved and not be afraid that they were going to leave me or abandon me. And it was hard. Oh, it was hard. And guess what? Like I have I'm one of 5, but I have 4 half siblings. Did you just see that orb or whatever fly across my head?
Something.
Me too. And I'm like, I don't see a moth or something flew through. So it was like something just
flash.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I'm like, I don't see anything flying around. That was pretty wild. Anyway, it's just like I learned to like show them my messiness because I couldn't help it. And so right now it's like you can be a little messy. You can be your hot mess and it's not going to be forever, but you're working kinks out of your energy field, old stuff, old pain, old fear, old doubt, and not just from this lifetime, from other lifetimes. It's really karmic. And this is kind of a karmic year in general for all of us, for the collective of like, okay, I want to right my wrongs. I want to reconcile my karma. I want to level the playing field. And they're showing me this. And your sister is like, yeah, that's an easy example. Tell her that. I was like, okay. Like, she's like, if she could just totally replace me right now, she would be like conducting this whole deal. Like, she's really funny. Okay. So the other day I was driving. And it was sunny. It wasn't like all this nasty weather we've had in the Austin area. And it was sunny, and somebody was driving kind of erratically, and they weren't intoxicated. I think they just didn't know where they were. And they were pretty far away from me. So they were not endangering me or anybody else. They just were kind of slow and fast and trying to figure out where to turn. And my initial reaction, and it was a reaction, not, oh, maybe they're lost. It was like, what are they doing? Don't they know there's a big turning lane here. Why aren't you speeding up? Like, I am going into all this judgment, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, Amanda, it takes a lot of energy to judge. It takes a lot of energy to be twisted off and turned on and like taking their inventory. I don't even know these people from Adam. And all of a sudden I was like, maybe they don't know where they are. They're not hurting me. They're not making me late. This is not really affecting me. Why am I taking it on? Notice the nuances and notice when you get into your turmoil and your messiness and your anxiety and your judgment. And if you feel it in your body and can find it in your body, your lower back is bothering me. Like I've got some lower back stuff. Upper back is, sometimes, or the neck is carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, but there's back stuff, your spine. That's why I was like, go to the chiropractor, go get some acupuncture. Like those things will help.
Yeah, I do go for acupuncture.
I figured you did. And that's why it's like, go do that stuff. And like, just to get and that's why even a massage, just to like work all that stuff, like it's old stuff that needs to be detoxed. But recognize when you get twisted off or you feel out of control, even if it's with Jonah, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this kid, I love him and I'm going to strangle his neck, and I'm, what I'm saying? Like, but I know like that's like legit. When you feel all that stuff, just say, wait a minute, it's taking a lot of energy. Let me just breathe. Okay. You need a moment alone, Jonah. I'm going to need a moment alone. Like say that to him because he'll appreciate it. When you say, how you need a moment alone? I think I need a moment alone. I need a little time and space. Are you good? You got what you need? Okay, I'm going to go run some errands. I'm going to go do something.
Hey guys, Rob Parker here to tell you the national sales event is on at your Toyota dealer, making now the perfect time to get a great deal on a dependable new Toyota truck like the rugged half-ton Tundra. Workhorse by nature, powerhouse by design, the Tundra combines raw capability with premium comfort and advanced tech to fuel your wildest adventures. And with the available iForce Max hybrid powertrain, you can take electrifying horsepower further than ever before. Or check out the fully redesigned Tacoma, delivering trail-dominating power and captivating style. The new Tacoma was born to make your off-roading dreams come true. And with the new available tech, this legendary truck is getting even better. And when you buy a Toyota truck, you buy Toyota dependability, meaning your truck will hold its value long into the future. So visit your local Toyota dealer and check out amazing national sales event deals when you visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The following ad is sponsored by Pets Best Insurance Services.
Pets come into our lives in many ways. Shelters, breeders, or unexpected encounters. But no matter how you found your pet, they become our perfect match. Unfortunately, finding the right pet insurance plan can be hard. That's where Pets Best comes in. With a little information about you and your pet, Pets Best will recommend a plan that meets your needs and budget. Visit petsbest.com to learn more today. Your perfect pet deserves the perfect coverage. Petsbest.com.
Had enough of those supplements that leave you feeling nothing? Symbiotica is your solution to great-tasting, all-natural supplements that actually work. Crafted with premium plant-based ingredients, their products have no seed oils, fillers, or toxins. Try them out and actually feel the difference today. Visit Symbiotica.com and use code IHEART for 15% off plus free shipping on your subscription order. Again, that's 15% off plus free shipping on your subscription order. Go to Symbiotica.com, CYMBIOTIKA.com.
Okay, tell me, is there anything that you want to know? We haven't talked about work or anything because they keep coming through with this other stuff that has been the most stressful.
Both of my kids, their names are tributes to my sister in some way. And today is my daughter's birthday. So I just want to know if Bernard had anything to say about Sky.
Aquarius. Wait, what's her name?
Skyla.
Gosh. Okay, you're a Leo. She's an Aquarius. You know, it's your astrological opposite. So all we have to say about that is just get ready. But she is very much an outside-the-box thinker. She's a thinker. Like, she can get really cerebral sometimes, but she's also emotional. But at the same time, it's like she tries to, like, sometimes her emotions come out sideways, but like sometimes they implode. Her emotional intelligence is important, and cultivating that. Well, how did you feel about that? How did that make you feel? You know, whether she answers you or not, it's not about that. Just like always being like, oh, how did that feel? Oh, how did you handle that? Like, she does really well when you, instead of giving her advice, because she doesn't want your advice. She doesn't want your advice, you know? And it's like, but she really does. You know, she may act like she doesn't, but she does. So more what she wants is like a question, like, oh, well, how did that feel? Or, wow, how did you handle that? Or how are you going to handle that? You're so capable and such a, you know, a smart thinker and a quick thinker on your feet, because she is. She's really good on her feet. She's really good in action. And so are you. And you both share that. You know, you're good under pressure or in the moment. And she can also she'll be very blunt in this lifetime. She's blunt. And it's like a blessing and a curse, because sometimes she just says what's on her mind and it's like, oh gosh, I just said that, you know, like no filter. But you got to love that in her, because sometimes like she will not have tact, but she says she's a truth teller. She spits out truths, even if they're like a little harsh, or maybe we shouldn't have said that, you know, like, but you don't even say that to her. You're like, oh, did you think about that before you said it? How did that make you feel? Because she gets this emotional whiplash. She'll say something or do something, and then she like guilts herself. How old is she?
8.
Oh my gosh, 8. Can you imagine? Well, you can, because you have kids. I'm like, can you imagine being 8 or 12? Like, kids are like, it's just a different world. Like, we rode our bikes, right? Like, we rode our bikes. I mean, not that your kids don't ride bikes, but you know what I'm talking about, like electronics, and they're, you know, and she's an Aquarius, for goodness sakes. You know she's going to have technical abilities, and also the age that she's born in. And she's born in this age of Aquarius. And Pluto, remember how I was saying before we got on that you would really like astrology? I'll send you some resources, because awesome. I really think, and also psychological and evolutionary astrology and your children's astrology will rock your freaking world. You will feel like, oh, that makes sense. I'm gonna send you a couple of resources, because I want you to get some reports for them so you can better understand. It will help you navigate this time, and it will start cleaning up some of the mess, because you're very psychological. You want to know things. You want to understand things. You love to learn. And right now, your children are giving you opportunities to learn. But she's in a pretty good space. Like, this is a good year for her with her friends, with school. It's like, she's got it, you know, She's in a good space. So the worry and all the other things that you're going through, especially with Jonah, like, she's good right now. And she's got her people and her, like, and again, school, like, and her activities, like, she's in a really healthy space. And happy birthday to her. So today she's 8.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 is a special number for her, by the way. Like, 8 is like her number. like from a numerological standpoint, but 8 is her number. So if you see repeating 8s in places, it's always something interconnected intuitively with you or with her or telepathically, like, oh, she's on my mind. So anytime you, even if it, like 88 cents, something 88 on your, grocery store receipt or whatever, wherever you see repeating 8s, that connects with her energy in some way, or it's a message to you, or like, oh, wait a minute, I need to check on her, or wait a minute, I need to connect with her deep. Oh, or, oh my gosh, this is the way we need to respond to this. Like it just, you'll see, and play with that this year. There's a lot of synchronicity right now. Anything else you want to know about her?
She was sad to leave 7 this morning. But I told her, I'm like, you know what? I get it. But you know what? 8 was really fun too. I think you're going to really enjoy
cute.
8.
Wait, what grade is she in? Well, like 8.
She's
what grade?
in second.
Second grade. I loved second grade. I really loved second grade a lot. I really liked my school picture in second grade.
She has a great one. She has a really good one.
And it's funny, my hair was like this, except it was like a little, that's so funny. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like it was like short like this, and I had a headband on and a little polo shirt, and I thought I looked so cute. And then my third grade picture, I had chicken pox, and it was not so cute. So anyway, I thought I looked like a little boy in that picture. But my second grade picture was spot on. Like she's really cute, like that. Like, so I love that you said, because I would say something like that, like, yeah, 7, but 8 is good. 8 is great. It's a good year for her. And she also, it's funny, she doesn't want to grow up, which guess what? Nurture her with that, like that childlike spirit and that wonder and that beautiful Leo quality that you have of tapping into the child and the inner child and the spontaneity and the creativity. Like nurture that, I don't want to grow up in her, and enjoy that in her. What were you going to say?
The only other thing I wanted to ask about was, I guess, my home. I feel like I missed a karmic turn in life, like last spring, and there's been issues with our home. And I just want to know, like, do I keep going down the same path, or do I make a different turn? And if I do, like, what does that turn even look like? Like, we have done a lot to try to make this home right.
Yeah. Do you remember how we were talking about redecorating and that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're saying bloom where you're planted. You are going to sell this house. Like, you are going to sell it, but right now, before it is time, and I know the real estate market is wonky, and, like you said, you have invested a lot in this house and you want to recoup it, all of those things that come up. But they're saying right now, because you have other stuff going on, you didn't miss a karmic turn, but you had an indication, but there's a reason. Sometimes we just take the long way around. We just do, we just do, because there are lessons, and they're saying you didn't miss the mark, but it is an opportunity for you to bloom where you're planted. So kind of redecorating and sprucing up. So the aesthetic, just feels like, okay, like this feels good. It feels refreshed, and you don't have to put a ton of money into that. But spruce things up, redecorate the kids' rooms. Like, and that might be really fun for Skylar, like turning 8. Like, hey, do you want to get a new bedspread? Or do we want to like repaint your room? Things like that. So that way you're sprucing up where you are, you're enjoying it, because the time will come. And I tell you what, I feel like you do put your house on the market this year, but it's going to be more so like in the fall. And if you don't put it on the market in the fall, you do sell it next year. You put it, so it's like if it doesn't quite feel right, like September, October-ish, like if the market hasn't, the interest rates, all that stuff, it just doesn't feel quite right, or you put it on the market and it's on the market for 6 weeks and you're like, you know what, no, let's pull it. Like follow that and then be like, you know what, it's gonna be better in the spring. If September, October feels wonky, like it's going to come back, like, okay, we should seize this opportunity now. March will come back. So just play with it. You're right where you're supposed to be with that. And it will be lucrative, because also where you're supposed to go is not available yet.
Okay.
And they're also talking to me about you all investing in real estate or property somewhere else.
Okay.
So like outside of the country, or like a second home or an investment property. And they're saying that will come up this year. And it will all also, okay, they just laughed. They were like, okay, yeah, now I got it. It's clearer. it'll be like, I'm so glad we didn't sell the house yet because we have the funds to invest in this, and then we'll sell the house and both will make sense. So there's real estate investment. And I really feel like it's a second home or somewhere outside of somewhere else, just to have another place to go that feels safe. Like, and I'm going to say it this way, like almost an escape route, should you need one.
Yes. We have a vacation house that I do want to sell, and we're looking at that as well.
Okay. And that may happen, and then it frees up the capital or the money to be able to invest somewhere where it's like, this would be wise in the long run. And we have this, and we can rent it out or not rent it out, or we can go there. You know, it's just going to be a solid investment. And so they're saying, you know, somewhere in Central America, or I don't know, but they're showing me more tropical kind of places. And also it would be fun because then you have like then you can say, okay, like we get to go here, or we can Airbnb it, and you know, we're making money, and it's a great investment. It's going to appreciate, and we get to go play. We get to go vacation. We get to go expose our children to other cultures. And guess who will thrive in that? Both of your children, and especially Skylar. She will thrive with foreign experiences. So going on trips outside of the U.S., not only will you enjoy it and your husband and like everybody, but that is something that is going to be wonderful for your family.
That is our plan for this summer.
Okay. Well, all of that, like it tracks. And this is a year to travel and go places and spend the time and the money and to do it because it'll be good for you to revitalize the kids, your husband. But I will send you some resources that I think will get you ticking around you and your children. There's an astrology report by Stephen Forrest. I had him on the podcast. He's one of my favorite astrologers. And he does this report, and it's around your natal chart, but it's very psychological. It's soul level based, and it has to do with all of your natal positions, where the planets were at the time you were born, and what that signifies and what it means. And it's going to, like, you're going to read your kids' reports and be like, oh my gosh, like you're going to print them out and underline. Like you're going to, and yours, you know, it's like print out, underline, visit and revisit, and it's going to help you not only better know yourself, but trust your intuition, and then have different ideas and ways of looking at mothering and parenting and guiding and mentoring and being their friend, and all the roles and hats that you wear that kind of feel out of sync right now.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like that. So this is a year of freedom and adventure, meaning it's about you looking forward to things, whether it's travel, you know, the things that we've talked about, or it's you getting excited about learning something. You are intended to be the student of life and the teacher in this lifetime, both. So learning and absorbing knowledge and sharing it as a mother is a huge part of this storyline, as a nurturer, and for it to be fun and enjoyable, even when it's stressful and messy and confusing. You have a beautiful, beautiful light and a very strong, resilient soul. It's like everything is nuanced. It's in these little minor synchronicities, these minor details where it's like, eureka. That's where your inspiration comes in.
Everything you've said has been like, it's like connected the various puzzle pieces of my life. You've hit on so many things that I would have wanted to just ask about. And I just feel like I just almost blown away.
I wish I could hug you right now. I'm like, I wish I could hug you. Like I do. I'm like giving you a virtual hug, but it's like, I'm so glad this resonated, and it's just so enjoyable to connect with you because I see so many cosmic dots, like my mom and my sister and some family, like I'm one of 5, you know, I mean, those things, you know, your son is 12, your sister died in 12 years ago, you know, like the number 12, I'm big into numerology. Numbers are what help me connect with energy. That's why I have your birthday, not because, okay, you're a Leo. It's because when I look at your numbers, all of a sudden the code starts opening up. But the number 12, think about it. It shows up. There's 12 signs to the zodiac. There's 12 months to the year. There were 12 disciples. The number 12, 1 is the individual, 2 is about relationship and partnership. And when you add 1 + 2, it equals 3. It is what is created from. So 1, 2, 3 is this powerful code. So know that you're in this very illuminating time that is also through all the human messiness. So it's like the mess is the treasure. And don't beat up on yourself so much. I already know how hard you are on you. I'm my own worst self-critic. A lot of us are that way, but like you and I have it kind of to a ridiculous degree. It's like, oh gosh, let me just like give myself some space or some grace or a minute and just breathe and know it's okay that I don't have all the answers. The answers will be revealed. More will be revealed if I am open and I believe. Like, so your hope right now is really important, and your like faith, like, okay, I'm faithful. And guess what? You've got guides on the other side, and your sister she's like, I'm there. Like, I am there and I am holding space. You don't have to be the one holding space and battening down the hatches right now. Like, she's like, just kind of like be a little messy and be okay and be like, I gotta have a break.
Thank you for connecting me with her.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. She's so much fun. And she's so wild. And so the kid that would sneak out of the house. Like, you and I did not sneak out of the house, right? Like, I did not sneak out of the house. Like, I did one time, but it was this really calculated sneak out, and it was kind of sad if I think about it. Like, you and I were not the sneaker outers. She like was like, yeah, I'm going to sneak out. Yeah. You know, and listen, she has a wicked sense of humor. So I'm about to say something, and I'm just going to go ahead and say what she's saying. She's like, of course I got hit by a drunk driver. Like, of course I got, you know, like, and that's not cool. And that's not okay. I'm not minimizing or disregarding any of that pain and tragedy and unfairness. But she's saying, of course it was something rebellious and not okay and somebody not being responsible. She's like, hello, like, that was my frequency. You know, that was my frequency. That was my vibe. She's like, we attract what we are. So she's saying, that's why I don't want you to be mad. Like, it's sad and it's painful, but I don't want you to be mad. She's like, it's part of my story. I own it. I wouldn't have, she said, if I had to do it all over again, and she says, not to cause any pain, I still would have gotten on that bike. I just might have taken a different route. But she said it would have happened another time, another way, pretty spastically and tragically. And it's funny that word spastic has come up about your son and her. Like, it's like, she's like, it would have just been not okay. Because like, she's like, it was something in my energy field. She's like, but don't worry. We have other lifetimes together. We've done our work. I'm supporting you. And we have other lifetimes where we will feel like compadres, and like it will chime, and I won't leave you so soon. And that's what, in closing, she wants to say. She says, it's like you left me when I just got to love you and know you. You know, that's what feels unfair. Like, more so than the drunk driving. She goes, just when you got me and we got each other, and it was like, oh, we're kindred, you aren't there. And she says, that's what's hurt your soul more than anything. And she says, haven't left you. We'll be together again. She says, but you got a lot of living to do. And you have to be there for my niece and nephew. Like, you just have to be. Like, you have to be. So just be. She's like, okay, I've got to go do some other things. She has other things to do. So it's been such a pleasure, Natalia. And for all the pain stuff, the painful things that you are walking through and experiencing, there is as much, if not more, beauty and enlightenment and inspiration and creativity and joy coming through. So trust that. Know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Big thank you to Natalia for joining me today. I hope you found this relatable and gave you some nuggets of insight in terms of relationships, not just parenting and loss, but also relationship with yourself, especially utilizing your intuition in your relationships. I've got a great blog, a couple of them actually, Intuition 101 and the 4 Clairs, developing your psychic abilities, your clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience. That may be helpful for you. We'll link it in the show notes, so definitely check it out if you're interested. But if you've lost someone dear to you, I hope that this session today gave you some peace, deeper understanding, or some insights and intuitive hits that connected dots for you. Remember, everything is connected. And I know it's hard to think in those terms sometimes. I forget it all of the time. But when I come back to, gosh, What is this teaching me? What is this showing me? And if you listen to the episode last week where I dove into the energies of March, this is a big month of learning through relationships, but it's a highly intuitive and sensitive month. So the more you can summon and harness your stillness and your intuitive abilities through your relationships. So getting quiet, what am I learning from this? What is this showing me? What is this evoking or provoking within me? Doing your own emotional, mental, and body work, finding stuff in your body, meaning like if you feel something deeply in your body, what is it telling you? Just be aware, see what resonates with you. And above all, let's give ourselves some grace, because if you remember, especially from last week and talking about the energies of March, this month will trigger all this impatience and slow down and create some delays. But it's totally a divine setup. The delays are these detours for greater clarity, moving forward in a more aligned trajectory. So that slowdown is really imperative. And answers, insights will be revealed in divine timing if, one, you ask for divine timing to happen in your life, and two, you look for it. And then, I guess number 3 is when you receive it, or when the divine timing happens, or the aha moment, you go, oh my gosh, wow, thank you, this is amazing. And then my level up in that is to tell somebody something magical or miraculous happened, because it's like these vibrational shock waves that reverberate out into your field, the field beyond you, and they affect our life, our planet, humanity. This is a really good time to think on a bigger picture. What is this all about? What is my meaning? And what can I do? How can I be influential? So whatever you are going through right now in your own personal developmental or healing journey, give yourself some grace, be patient with yourself, and be patient with others. Practice that compassion leading from the heart and trusting that everything is coming together from a divine, quantum, infinite place that may not be within our reach yet, but that element of hope, even if something is painful or traumatic, is so crucial to accelerating your experience and finding your fill in the blank: happiness, joy, ease, security, love, prosperity, health, whatever it may be. All right, everyone, be well.
Allstate wants to remind fans that mayhem is everywhere, like when the tailgate party shows up at your house after the big win. Everything's great until the hot plate gets too hot for the tablecloth. Now your kitchen's up in smoke. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, the cost to fix this could sideline your savings. So switch to Allstate, save money, and get protected from mayhem like this. Not available in every state based on coverage selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
No one likes to talk about money. Am I saving enough? Can I buy a house? Am I paying too much in taxes? Will I be able to retire? What if you could unlock insights about your finances in less than 5 minutes with a clear picture of where you stand today and where your money can work harder? Now you can. Visit Facet.com to take the free quiz and get your financial wellness score today. That's FACET.com. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth Incorporated is an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice.
Farm to store in days, not weeks. That's 80 Acres Farms. Did you know most salads travel over 2,000 miles to reach your plate? But not 80 Acres Farms. Their crisp salad greens and herbs are food less traveled. They stay fresher for longer in your fridge. My salad lasts all week long, which means less food waste and easy meal planning. Oh, and did I mention there's zero need to wash these greens? Because 80 Acres Farms uses zero pesticides. Visit 80acresfarms.com to learn more and find their salads and salad kits at your local Harris Teeter.